All right, let's knock this one out real quick because, I just want to get back to slaying. I slay. I am a slayer. Blah. Welcome back, Slayers. Here's a Dauntless first impression video from me, Neverduck. Don't forget, we have a Dauntless key giveaway going on. To enter, just make sure you are subscribed, like and comment on any videos from the 18th on my channel all the way to the 30th. This does not include streams. You can have one entry per video that I post, so get those entries in and we will be giving away the key on the 30th or the 31st. I haven't fully decided, but it's coming. I want to talk about my first impressions of this game and why I'm so addicted and liking it a lot. First off, the game is in alpha and will soon be in beta, so you have to realize that the game is far from complete. There are systems that are coming and have to be tested, vetted, and approved by the developers. The developers are getting the community heavily involved in this process, and I hope that creates an amazing game for the players and something the devs can be proud of. Alright, let's talk about what's drawing me to this game. Before I state that directly, let's talk a little bit about my gaming history. I started off in RuneScape when I actually started playing games regularly. I did in high school and elementary school and stuff like that, but nothing that really kept my attention like RuneScape. After a few years, I migrated over to World of Warcraft. The first year I played, I did not even know about raiding. But when I did, I was done. I was hooked. I was sold. I played the game 24/7. I led raid teams. I ran dungeons. I farmed rare mounts and pets. I devoured the game like nothing I had ever done before. Over the years, WoW has changed a lot and is still one of the all-time great games. And I do go back from time to time and just try to pug out whatever raid bosses there are, just so I can keep a good feel for the game. It was my first love, basically. But for some reason, I get in there and it doesn't hold my attention anymore. I think it may have to do with how much extra stuff there is to do in the game. It's almost like I'm overstimulated. I get in there and I don't know what to do because there's so much to do and I don't know where to start. If I could just log in and raid, I would be happy. But the game fights for your time. I never wanted to be on the bleeding edge of progression, but I always wanted my raid team to stay in the top 100 to 500 on the server that I was on, and most of the times we did that, if not pushed the top 30, which I was happy with, because we were casual raiders. We only raided like 2 to 3 nights a week, and we stayed competitive, and we were okay with that. Alright, enough talking about WoW and nostalgia and rose-tinted glasses. One day, I was brainstorming with my best friend, who also got into WoW. Wait, I was supposed to stop talking about WoW. So out of track. And we fleshed out an idea of a lobby-based game that would queue you up with your raid, that you could queue up with your raid team, and then zone into a boss. When you go in and fight the boss, of course. No trash mobs, no farming, only gear to scale you. You need at least 1 kill on a boss before you can move on to the next one. I won't go into any more detail than that, but that is just the gist of it. I've never played a Monster Hunter game like this. But when I saw Fever, shout out to him, I love his content, he covered this, and I was ready to become a slayer, to slay, to be a slayer. It was just like, wow, the way the combat works, the way it was set up and designed, I was definitely on board 100%. So here's how the game progression is. It's pretty simple. Zone in the solo queue or with a team. Gather resources while you find the behemoth. Kill the behemoth. Take the loot. Craft the gear. Rinse and repeat. It's essentially a hamster wheel with different scenery. Simple, right? You would think the game would get boring because of the repetitiveness. But the fights are not scripted. The bosses have a set amount of moves and they can come in any order. You can change what the boss does by cutting off its spikes, its tail, its beaks, etc. You can trip a boss. There's just so many different variables and things you can discover that you never even knew after you killed the boss 20 times. Someone says, hey, when he's doing that stomp, attack his other leg and he'll collapse. and you'll stop the stomp sooner. It's simple in its approach, but mastering it is not easy. And I found basically that progression through the bosses and the content is a byproduct of questing, and questing, conversely, is a byproduct of progression. What I mean by this is if you try to kill a boss and you're just not able to down him, then you can start knocking out your quest line. And what you'll find is that you will, by default, gather more materials, which you can make stronger gear, which will help you kill the boss you're stuck on. Sometimes, unless you're playing perfect, which is very hard to do when you start out in this game, even on the easier bosses, you're still gonna die and you're still gonna fail. Their goal is for a 90% success rate. So that means 10% of the time, if you're not geared properly, you're gonna fail. And then also that means that if you're not geared properly, you're probably dropping your chances of succeeding down to 50% pretty quickly. The weapons and gear in the system are really solid. Each weapon feels unique. Each ability that the weapon has feels great, strong, powerful, impactful. It also feels like you have to make a choice and plan ahead. Because if you're in the middle of an animation and it takes forever to get that animation off when you're swinging your axe or you're swinging your hammer or whatever you might be using, and the boss swings around with its tail, you're not going to connect and you're not going to get out of the way of it because you can't use that twitch reaction because you're already committed to swinging your weapon. The other beauty of the game is you're not locked into any specific class or weapon. So essentially, you can go in and one boss, if it's better to use an axe, you can use the axe. If it's better to use the sword, you can use the sword. Just as long as you've made the weapon, you could change your gear out if you need to use a different build for a specific boss to make it better or easier for you. It's all interchangeable. You're only held back by how much progression you've done and how much stuff you've crafted. And it doesn't take long to craft things at all. Like any game that I play it for the fun of it. As long as I'm having a lot of fun, I will not be putting it down for a while. I'm going to end my ramblings here. I hope this helped you understand the game a little bit better and my desire to help the game and the community grow so that we can see a great game come of it and also a game that developers can be proud of. And that's all, folks. Don't forget to like and comment to enter the Dauntless key giveaway, and also check out my other videos from the 18th till the 30th. Like and comment on those for some extra entries for the key. And if you see me in game, don't forget to message me what's up. This is Nevaduck, and I'll talk to you later. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows my sorrow. Ah! Scratching! Scratching!